that what happens on this journey, and that is a regular, event that can happen when you're on this journey, is that people start to renegotiate where they are okay compared to what they started out being on purpose doing. And the renegotiation is what takes you off the track and the path that you were on when you started. And I will tell you all, don't renegotiate. Don't renegotiate your health goals. Don't renegotiate your business goals, because everything that you thought was possible in the beginning and or believe is possible is still possible. And only the renegotiation is what happens to change that fact. So I hope you all will, embrace where you were in the beginning, reach out, ask for help, and how you can get back on that track, and for your business, but also for your health goals, which is where Heidi is going to share with us and help all of us. And I'm super excited to sit at her feet
Tell
today.
Heidi that no pressure. There's a bunch of MVPs watching.
Yeah, no pressure, Heidi. You have a bunch of MVPs watching you.
Oh, believe me, I've been in prayer today.
Oh, honey, you are absolutely golden.
She's a pro.
And I'm super excited to learn from you. So I'm happy I'm doing it from Maui, Hawaii. But
You guys have good Wi-Fi there.
I know I'm out on that. I'll show you my room. Hang on. If you can see up there, there's a patio on the grounds where you see Robert and Brian Lomas and Philip Nelson, and I think Christy Dryling's husband, Scott, who is over there, and they're hanging out on the patio while the girls are hanging out on the cabanas. So
Awesome.
you guys come and join us. I mean, the only thing that could make this trip sweeter is having more of you with us. So that's are willing to help do whatever it is we need to do to help you get here with us. So Heidi, I'll turn it over to you, honey.
Okay, I've got 1 minute till, and so we'll probably start in about 2 minutes, and I'll hit the record. And
I'm recording, so you're good.
Okay, awesome. So I don't need to do that. If you guys that have joined us will mute your, hit that microphone, click on the microphone, and it'll mute your background noise. That way we can get a great recording for people that have events to know.
Everybody too. And you can, Heidi.
What?
I'll mute everyone, and you can.
Okay.
Okay, if you unmute, you're good to go, and I'll keep tabs on that for you.
Awesome.
Hey, Sherry, aloha.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I've got 8:30, so let's just wait just 1 more minute, and then I'll get us started. That's always one of my concerns, is that I'm going to go long, because I could talk for days about this stuff. So I have to reel myself in.
Hey, Heidi, go ahead and get started. We'll record. Anybody who doesn't get on, they can watch the recording.
Okay. So for all of you that are on, I know some consultants, some of you may just be checking out facts about why you should detox. Maybe some of you are already doing the 30-day healthy living, which includes, detoxing your body. For whoever you might be, I think tonight will be extra knowledge to add to your why. Anytime you take on a change in your life, in your health, you need a big why to make that successful. And I think tonight is going to add to your why for eating clean, but especially for cleaning out your system every once in a while. Also, for those of you who don't know me, I've got a little background noise. I don't know who that's coming from, but for those of you who don't know me, I'm a pharmacist. I've been a pharmacist for 26 years. I'm also a regional vice president, and that's why I started my own business, was so that I could get home to my family. I was a stressed out 50, 60 hour a week, work week pharmacist. And recently, over the last year, I've also completed my integrated nutrition health coaching certificate through about a year's worth of online courses. I'm also a breast cancer survivor, and I tell you all of this just to help you understand where I'm coming from and why I'm very, very passionate about ingredients and health, and that everything you put in and on your body matters. So that's my background, and kind of the angle that I look at everything, the colored glasses that I see things through. As we're going through this, of course, I'll stay on at the end for questions. So I'll go through it rather quickly, but I want to give you an overview of, toxins in general and how they're eliminated. And this will help you understand the importance of your liver. It is the unsung hero in your body. I know the brain and the heart usually get all of the praise, but the liver is the unsung hero for you in your health. We want to talk about how can we improve its effectiveness if it's such a player in our health. And then also understanding the relationship between different kinds of fuel and how they make a difference in weight loss. A lot of times people will eat clean, or they'll do a 30-day clean eating or 30-day detox program, and they'll actually gain weight. Can that actually happen? And I want to show you how that can happen, because calories are not created equal. So we've mentioned toxicity a lot. Last week, Carlita mentioned it. We know that when we detox, it's not some weird thing that Hollywood people do to lose weight. It's actually something your body's doing right now. It's detoxing. But toxicity is a really bad thing. It's has the ability to damage your organ systems. It has the ability to disrupt chemical processes. It actually has the ability to mutate cells, which is what cancer becomes, or disturb enzyme systems. And so anything your body can't use as fuel, then it has to detox or take the trash out. And that also takes energy away from you. I love this slide, and I know that I probably love it because I'm a pharmacist, but I want you to love it because I want you to think about every single thing that you put in or on your body that you know is going to be absorbed into your system, either through swallowing it or putting it on your skin, that every single thing is going to have to be distributed. So it's going to go into the blood. Some of it's going to go into the bloodstream. Some of it's just going to go on down to the exit zone. It always has to be metabolized. Big nutrients have to be metabolized down to small ones. It's a chemical process that your body does a great job at. And then, of course, toxins and drugs and those kind of things have to be metabolized. And then they have to be excreted. So when you have an appreciation for this process, for every single ingredient that goes into your body, then you choose a little bit more carefully, I think. So you eat, let's say you eat something, you have lunch, that goes down in your belly, digestion's happening there, goes over to the small intestine, and that's where food, nutrients, molecules, and toxins can be absorbed into the bloodstream. And once that happens, then in order to detox something, your body's going to rely on your liver, your kidneys, and your skin. And your skin is your largest detox organ, but your liver is the most effective, and it handles most of the detoxification. So this is kind of a busy slide, but mainly what I want to show you on this slide is in order for your liver to do what it was created by God to do, it needs you to give it the right. In order to get rid of toxins, so you see the toxins coming in over here, it has a two-step process. So step one, not to get too scientific, basically what it does is try to make it more water soluble and then stick it back in the bloodstream, go for round two. Step one, it has to have B vitamins, folic acid, antioxidants. Milk thistle is a great raw resource. Carotenoids, vitamin E, vitamin C, and that's not an exhaustive list. It's a little list, but it gives you an idea. If your liver doesn't have the tools, then step one fails. and it can't detox things. Then step 2, it requires amino acids and something we call phytochemicals, which is all the colors of the rainbow, and then your cruciferous vegetables. So when your mom told you to eat your veggies and you thought it was just so you could, have energy or whatever, it was for your liver absolutely requires great nutrition for it to work. And when it works, then these waste products are eliminated through, the gallbladder, the bile down to the intestines, or through the kidneys and out the urine. But the main thing I want you guys to see on this slide is that your liver requires proper nutrition. So phase 2 enzymes are highly dependent on the energy and dietary protein that you're giving it. Phase 2 enzymes require substances found in fruits and vegetables. And then both phase 1 and phase 2, I hope you could see on that, are highly, highly dependent on nutritional status for their activity. Now, why is that important? Yes, your liver detoxes, but how does that really affect your health? Well, your liver is overloaded with daily life. All of these things are depending on the liver to process it. So it has a lot on its plate, basically. I always joke and say the line at the liver is like the line at Disney. I mean, it is wrapping around the building for most people, right? And this burden on the liver begins to cause health problems. So what are some of the things that burden your liver besides just processed food and eating the wrong things? We know that alcohol is what we call a hepato or liver toxin. It's a hepatotoxin. So, every once in a while, social drinking, that's fine. But if you're having 2 or 3 glasses of wine a day, your liver is bearing that burden. Excessive workload and stress. Most people don't realize that stress is much more than a bad mood. Every organ system is affected by that. And your body releases stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, all of those that put you in fight or flight, basically. Then your liver has to break those down because those become toxic too. For those that smoke, we know that nicotine is a toxin. Prescription and OTC medicines, we know that that's not fuel for your body, so your body has to break those down as well, or your liver has to break those down as well. You've got environmental toxins, pesticides, some of the things that we breathe that we can't even really always control. The soils that are deficient in the key minerals that the liver needs, whatever soil the food is grown in, well, that becomes a part of the fruit or part of the vegetable, and your liver needs certain things from that. So if the soils are depleted, then it's grasping for these nutritional elements. Poor nutrition, and then coffee and energy drinks with caffeine. I know I'm extreme, but I was in pharmacy school and caffeine is a drug to me. So when I see people at Starbucks, it's like, that looks like a pharmacy drive-through to me. But that is a stimulant, and it also can be a hepatotoxin. And especially at the bottom, processed foods, we know that sugar is also a hepatotoxin, and white flour as well. And so eating a lot of products with those 2 ingredients adds burden to that. So hope you're starting to have a respect for this liver thing and understanding why it would be a great idea for every 3 or 4 months or even every 6 months to do a clean eating detox program to let your liver catch up. When your liver is overburdened, other aspects of your health are affected because your liver doesn't just detox. It also prevents shortages of nutrients, and it also most proteins needed by the body. There are some proteins you have to give your body, but it can produce a lot of those that you need. It also produces bile, which is needed to digest fat. and to absorb vitamins A, D, E, and K. And some of you on here might be aware, but we have a real big problem with vitamin D deficiency in our world right now, and especially with women. And so it may have something to do with overburdened livers. It also produces most of the substances that regulate blood clotting, helps your body fight infection, obviously metabolizes, breaks down nutrients from food to produce energy, and it removes toxic byproducts and medications like we've already mentioned. So if any of those systems start to fall by the wayside, then that's going to affect your health in quite a few different areas. So this is a slide that Carlita has on her website that I love. And I like to say, like, from here up, from halfway up, if I could put my hand over the bottom part of this and I could say, oh, this is a perfectly working liver system. Toxins enter through the lungs and the skin and the gut and the intestines, and the liver does its thing. It's on top of it. And then the toxins are metabolized and they exit through the skin, the kidneys, the colon, the lungs. That'd be great if that happened. But in most people, we have excess toxins, and that becomes problematic. And those get stored in these other various sites. So the fat-soluble toxins are stored in the fat cells. In fact, we know from what we teach in Arbonne that your body will actually start creating fat cells to store the toxins in, and that usually occurs around the middle area of your body. And then bone marrow, liver, and central nervous system and brain. The water-soluble toxins that are left over that are hanging out, they get stored in the joints, the blood, the tissues, the muscles. And so when that happens, your body goes into toxic overload. You're going to start having inflammation in your body. And inflammation is the basis of all diseases. They all start with inflammation. And so your body's going to start giving you some signals, some symptoms. You're going to start feeling some side effects and signs of toxicity, and some of those listed down below. So some of you were encouraged to do a 30-day clean eating because you had one of these signs or symptoms of toxicity. Maybe you have chronic fatigue, or you just want more energy. Maybe you have IBS, headaches. Maybe you have some autoimmune disorder, arthritis, some skin psoriasis, eczema, hormone imbalance, inflammatory disorders, overweight, can't lose weight. Those are all side effects and signs of toxicity. If you're on here and you have never done our Do You Need to Detox quiz, we have a little quiz your consultant can give you that lists even more side effects and signs of toxicity that might become a greater why for you as far as helping your liver out, which helps your health out, right? So in a nutshell, your detoxification becomes impaired either because, number one, you have too many toxins coming in, both on your skin and through what you choose to put in your mouth. And then number two, you have impaired excretion. That means your drain's clogged. It won't matter if you slow the toxins coming in down to a trickle. If your drain's still clogged, you're still going to have impaired detoxification. And that's great that all 450 products that we have support all the elimination organs. And number three, you might have, your toxic load might not be overwhelming. Your excretion may not be impaired, but you might have those inefficient fuels that from that slide I showed you, phase 1 and phase 2, they're starving. They can't do their job because you're not giving enough balanced nutrition to your body so that it can do what it was designed to do. And then fourth, there's always that genetic variation. Some people's livers are just going to work a little bit different. And so you always have to take that into account as well. So impaired detoxification can lead to a variety of health and immune problems and diseases, like we've mentioned. And so a regular detox program occasionally is great. And then after that, even every single day, being mindful of your liver's effectiveness, and that can greatly improve your health. So I hope that helps to blow up your why as far as eating clean, but also sticking with the 30 days, because poor liver here, here he is, and he says, I hope you have fun while some of us have to work overtime. I don't think the liver a vacation, a holiday, or a day off, especially with Americans and our diets, right? So give the poor guy a break. moving on and kind of past that to how that all affects the rest of your body systems, and then how it affects your weight. So not all the food you eat will be successfully absorbed as nutrients in the bloodstream, right? Some of it, too large of a molecule, doesn't get absorbed there, and so it moves right past the small intestine into the large intestine, into the exit zone. And there's always going to be some remnants left in the colon and the intestines, and that's why we need regular bowel movements. And of course, this is an elimination organ, and that's why we strongly encourage fiber. We have a great fiber that's odorless, colorless, tasteless, textureless. You can put it in water, so there's no excuse for not using it, and it works great when you put it in your shakes. And fiber is really going to help keep that drain open for those elements that don't go into the bloodstream. Now, in relation to weight loss, when the liver gets overloaded, we know that it signals the body to create storage cells to put it in. And so it will store it in the fat cell until it gets caught up. And that's why you're going to lose inches when you do a clean eating 30 days, because your liver will start to be able to get caught up, and they'll go, okay, let's clean this closet out. Let's clean this closet out. We don't need that fat storage cell anymore. These storage cells are fat cells, and they're usually around the middle because that's where your major organs are, and your body wants to protect those. So it'll pull the toxins away from the major organs and make those fat cells. So liver effectiveness and how it affects weight loss, also how it affects metabolism. You always hear people say, gosh, I just have a really slow metabolism, right? Or I have a really fast metabolism. And there are some factors that you can change to affect your metabolism, and there are some things that you can't change to affect your metabolism. But metabolism basically is the process that converts the fuel in the food that we eat into the energy that we need to power our systems and to power everything that we do. A lot of things affect your metabolism, guys. A lot, and we're all made a little bit differently, and so you have to be like a detective sometimes to figure out what your body is telling you and what works for you. This is not an exhaustive list, but we know that men and women have different metabolisms. We know that as you age, your metabolism will slow down. I used to work in geriatric medicine. I was a consultant pharmacist in long-term care for about 10 years, and you see elderly people and their metabolism is just not as healthy. And so we have to reduce doses of medications. We have to be careful with that. And that just happens as you age. We know that even as women, as we stop producing as much estrogen, our metabolism changes. So age definitely is a factor. Unfortunately, I've found that once I hit 40, it was much, much harder to stay healthy. We know that stress is more than a bad mood. It affects every organ. We also know that it greatly affects your metabolism, and people discount this a lot. And so we're going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about stress next week, and sleep and gut health next week, and how they affect your weight loss and your overall health. We just talked about liver health and how that can affect your metabolism. The metabolizing of toxins steals energy and time from it breaking down other elements for nutrition. And then we know that if your liver is working at a great pace and it's not bogged down, that's going to affect your metabolism, which is taking the fuel that you've put in there and converting it to energy. Exercise is a huge factor in metabolism. Size of your body, nutrition, which is what we're about to talk about, and then hormones. And try to figure hormones out, and you'll go a little crazy. But there are means that you can go about figuring out your hormones. You just have to be a detective, listen to your body. Medications always slow your metabolism down. People in the nursing homes that I used to look at their charts, and they're on 20, 25 medications a day. They're not ever going to have any energy, because all their energy is going to break down medications and their poor livers, right? So medications, sedentary lifestyle, toxic load will slow down your metabolism. And that's why doing a 30-day kind of resets that, gives you a chance to hit the reset button. And then, of course, genetics always has to play a Now, whenever you're thinking about metabolism, let's look at the nutrition part. The basics of nutrition are that you've got your carbs, your proteins, your fats and lipids, your water, your vitamins and minerals. Those are the basic categories of nutrition and what your body basically needs and all the things that fall within that. But there are only 3 of those that are energy nutrients, okay? Carbohydrates, proteins, and fats / lipids, kind of the same thing. So anytime that your body it needs energy for what it does every day, it's going to have carbs, proteins, or fats to create that kind of energy. A lot of people want to live by calories, and we know calories are just the energy that can be provided for your body. So if I eat 1,000-calorie meal, that means that meal has a potential to give my body 1,000 kilocalories of energy. Now, if my body only needs 500 kilocalories of energy, guess where the other 500 goes? It gets stored away, usually in fat cells or as fat cells, okay? 3,500 calories or kilocalories is 1 pound. So let's say over a month, I take in 3,500 extra calories that my body didn't burn, then that's a pound that I gained that month. Or over 3 months, if I add, this week I had 25 here, 100 there, 300 here, 400 there that my body didn't need or use. And so all those add up to pounds on your body, right? And so a lot of people think calories in, calories out. I want to show you a little video. It's like a 2-minute video, but it shows very vividly how your body breaks down the carbs and the proteins and the fats, because all of those have calories, guys, but they're not created equally in your body, and how they're broken down and how they're utilized in your system. So let me see if I can make this work. All right, here we go.
Use food. Well, we have to look at the macronutrients, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. We're going to take a very basic look at this by starting with carbohydrates. Essentially, carbs are going to be used in 3 different ways: as immediate energy, as stored energy, or as stored fat. During the digestive process, carbs are converted to glucose, which is what cells use as energy. The liver sends this glucose into the bloodstream to be used as immediate energy for cells. Once the bloodstream has enough glucose in it, the liver takes the extra glucose and converts it to glycogen, which is a stored form of glucose energy. Glycogen gets stored in the liver and muscles, which combined can store about 2,000 calories worth. Once the bloodstream is full and the glycogen tanks are full, the extra glucose or carbs are stored as fat in fat tissue. Now for proteins. Proteins are also going to be used in mainly 3 different ways. They're used to build stuff, used as energy, or stored as fat. During the digestive process, proteins are broken down into their main components of amino acids. These amino acids can be used to make enzymes, hormones, build and maintain tissues, construct transport proteins, which transport fats throughout the body, and make antibodies, which can help neutralize some bacteria and viruses in the body. If the body is low on fuel, it can convert proteins to energy. And if the body doesn't need to use protein for all of the situations just mentioned, it can be, through a lengthy process, converted to and stored as fat. Next up is fats. Fats are also going to be used in mainly 3 different ways. They are used as part of many cell membranes. They can be stored as energy in the liver or fat tissue, and they can be used as energy in the form of ketones or through being converted to glucose. And that is the basics of how food is used in your body. So don't overeat.
Okay, so 3 things in the way that they're used. We've got proteins, we've got carbs, we've got fats. And I put this slide in here just so that everybody would be reminded that carbs are not just bread and pasta. There are carbs in everything, okay? Apples, oranges, berries, veggies, almost everything has some carbs, right? Also, that fats are not always bad. We need good fats, avocados, olive oil. salmon, those things that are listed there, there are good fats that our body needs. And then we, of course, have our proteins over there. And a lot of those proteins, like eggs, have 0 carbs. So for energy, your body is only going to use these 3 sources: carbohydrates, which is your fast energy of starches and sugars, and that's your body's go-to, or proteins or fats, and fats you put in, or fat that's stored that can be used. So we know that if you want to lose weight, you're going to have to get your body to a point where it starts burning the fat that it's stored, right? When people lose 50, 100 pounds, they don't lose it because they chop it off. They lose it because they got to a point where their body started burning the fat. And that's where you may want to be. Even if you're doing a detox, you may be just detoxing for all of the things that we've mentioned about your liver and energy and inflammation. That may be your deal. But if you're also wanting to lose some weight and wanting to lose some inches, this is going to be important information for you, because you want to put your body in a situation where it will stop using carbs and start burning some fat. Now, all of these have calories. So if I'm just counting calories, I can do 1,000 calories that's high in carbs or low in carbs, 1,000 calories that's high in proteins, low in proteins, 1,000 calories high in fats and low in fats. So it's not just about counting calories. The longer you give your body carbs, it will never start burning fat. I could work out for 5 hours a day, but as long as I'm still giving my body a lot of carbs, it's just going to keep burning carbs, because that's what it knows how to do. So if you want to get in a fat burning zone, then you may want to limit your carbs. The second thing that carbs do that are not so great for weight loss is that it spikes your blood sugar, because it's made mostly of sugars and starches. So carbs are consumed, carbs are converted into glucose almost immediately. This is your fast energy, remember. Glucose is released into the bloodstream. That triggers your pancreas to pump out insulin. Insulin brings your blood sugar down, but also insulin tells the body to keep burning carbs, and it actually stores fat and keeps your body from burning fat. Insulin is not our friend if you want to actually lose some weight. This shows you that when you eat a high carbohydrate meal or foods, your blood sugar will spike even over the course of the next 2 hours. If you eat more of a high protein, it will level out. It won't spike your blood sugar, and even fats are even more level than that. So of course you want to have a good combination of these, but this is a good visual of spiking your blood sugar. When you spike your blood sugar, remember that's going to initiate a large amount of insulin. So you've got the sugar spike and the sugar crash because of the insulin. With that sugar crash come cravings, sugar cravings, fatigue, things like that. The insulin surge actually creates that, and it also blocks fat breakdown. So the answer to this is keeping a low blood sugar, right? And if you want to do that, you'll need to pick low glycemic foods, low glycemic index foods, and you'll also want to balance or lower your carbs a little bit. Other ways that insulin can hinder your fat burning is that the high blood sugar levels can greatly impact weight, because they increase your hunger levels when you have that bottoming out. They decrease your energy level. They prevent your body from burning up its fat stores, and it actually increases fat storage and tells your body to try to find carbs. So insulin is not our friend, right? Also, insulin is not our friend because you can get something over time that can build up, and it's called insulin resistance. And that's been over the every day, every week, every month, every year. You've got these spikes and blood sugar spikes and blood sugar spikes and blood sugar, and your body is pumping out insulin, 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 insulin all the time. This is how your body gets kind of calloused to insulin and resistant to it. And then it doesn't do its job, and you become pre-diabetic and diabetic. You also experience a lot of these types of symptoms. And if this is you, all of this information will help you. When you become pre-diabetic or diabetic, they don't teach you how to count calories. They teach you how to count carbs to control your blood sugar, which controls your insulin, which will help you lose weight and also help control your blood sugar. So this is kind of wraps it up, is that eating a lot of carbs leads to blood sugar spikes, which leads to insulin spikes, which stops the fat burning, which increases fat storage. And the main reason that I was passionate about telling you guys this, because I see people that go on our 30-day program and they follow it really well as far as clean, but they're picking the wrong kind of energy sources, and so they can actually not lose very much weight because of their food choices. Yes, their liver's getting a break, and yes, some of their symptoms are going to go away and they're going to have more energy, and all of those things are going to be true, but they may not lose the weight because of this kind of situation. I hope that you guys can see that, what I'm talking about. You can very easily Google or go on your smartphone and say low glycemic index fruits, low glycemic index vegetables, low carb food options. And you get lists and lists and lists to help you. If you're going to make a few changes during this 30 days and you're going to cut out some of these things, why not go all the way and lose those extra pounds as well, right? So you want to go low glycemic and watch your carb count. Read labels for carb counts. Read labels for low glycemic fruits and vegetables. Give your body a healthy balance of the three, but keeping them all clean. And then if you want to lose more weight, maybe lower the carb count. The other thing I want to tell you, that if you do decide to start paying attention to your carbs, you get to factor out the fiber. Why do you get to factor out fiber? Because fiber stretches out the energy level. So if it doesn't have any fiber, it's going to go straight to energy, straight to sugar, straight to energy, and you have to count all of that. But if it has fiber in it, it's going to make that last longer and not spike your blood sugar as much. So looking at even like olives on here, a cup of green olives is 193 calories. It's the most calories on here. If you're just looking at calories, you'd be like, no, okay. It has 20 grams of fat, which is a lot, but it's a good fat. But then you look at the carbs, this 5, that's already really, really low for carbs, but 4 of those carbs are fiber, okay? Not sugars and starches, but fiber. So I get to subtract that, and that leaves me with 1 carb. That's a great choice if you're, wanting a low carb option. And of course, you've got the green, and it's a great food source, the good fat. So even though the calories are high, there are other things to look at as far as a food source in that. So anything you look at, you get to subtract the fiber points out when managing that. So if you're wanting to build muscle, you're going to carb up. I mean, my trainer, I think he shoots for like 4,000 carbs a day because he works out like 4 times a day, I guess. I don't know. That's crazy to me, but you may have a husband or a son, and that's their life, and they're going to be carbing up, carb heavy. They still need to take breaks from that because it's not always healthy to do one or the other. If you're wanting to just maintain your weight, probably about 400 to 600 carbs a day it's going to just constantly burn carbs. It's never really going to go to the fat stores and burn the fat, but you're going to stay in that zone. However, if you want to get a little bit more lean and you'd like for your body to turn to the fat zones to burn some fat when it runs out of carbs, about 100 to 150 carbs a day, which is really not that difficult, is going to be able to put you in that fat burning zone. Okay. And then still the clean thing is, clean's always the right answer. But this will help you get a little bit leaner. I always recommend that if you do decide to make these changes and do a lower carb nutritional plan, do it for about 2 or 3 months, and you'll probably lose some of the weight that you're wanting to lose. And then after that, you want to change it up a little bit. Start having cheat days where cheat day doesn't mean Cokes and cookies. It means you go back up to the 400 to 600 carbs, or maybe a little bit more than that. You switch it up on your body, right? You don't ever want your body to plateau because it's gotten used to a certain amount of carbs or used to a certain amount of fats or proteins. It's good to have those cheat days to mix it up. The lower carb will help you get a little bit more lean. As far as our products, our shakes are very low carb. They have 15 carbs, but you can subtract the 2 grams of fiber, so 13. So if you're trying to do 100, 150 a shake, which is a meal, it's only 13. That gives you a lot of wiggle room. Our fiber is 15 less the 12 grams fiber, and so that's just 3 carbs. And then if you're like a 0 carb person, we have our daily protein boost, which is 1 carb, but it's fiber, and so it's 0. I love that, right? Of course, all of our products are low glycemic index. It's not going to spike your blood sugar and produce the insulin, which creates the fat storage and the fatigue and the insulin resistance that I just mentioned. So all of the products that we have all 450 products that we have would support, any change in that system. That's all I have, guys. I went about 7 minutes over, which was my fear. So hopefully that information has been helpful for you and help you understand a little bit more that a calorie is not a calorie is not a calorie. And it does matter calories in, calories out, but different calories are going to do different things for your body.
Thank you, Heidi. That was amazing. And I was listening intently and figuring out where and what I want to do to spend my calories and pick the right carbs. So thank you for expanding that knowledge base. This was powerful, and we will definitely upload this to the YouTube and post this as a link that people can share to help people understand more about their health and the choices. Because I think so much of the time where I believe in people to the nth degree is that, so many people will go, well, if they wanted to improve their health, they would be doing better. And I think so many times people make innocent mistakes like what you were talking about, and where people, think they're doing the right thing, but they have made an innocent mistake and their body is reacting to that choice that they have made. And you have just helped to clarify what they can do to change that. So I thank you for empowering each and every one of us that are listening to this training live or the recording that we will be sharing. And I just appreciate all that you do to help share the knowledge that you have worked so hard to gain. So I love you, dear, and thank you so much. And I can't wait for you and Troy to be sitting here with us in Maui.
Oh, I love it there.
I know.
But more than that, I'd love to be with you guys. You guys are awesome. And we just pray that you're having just the most blessed, relaxed time for all that you do for us.
We are. It always is just bittersweet, because as much as we love being here, there's always people that I'm looking at your faces right now, and I think, gosh, I just wish they were here with us. So you know who you are, and each and every one of you can be here with us. And so just know that it is a possibility and a probability, and never settle for less than what you actually have planned for your life and deserve every bit. And you are worthy of being here with us. And I just can't wait for us to have such a big group that we have all of these cabanas pulled together and are sitting here and sharing it with each and every one of you, and doing this with more of you. So thank you all. I will let you go. I know it's late there. And thank you for being with us and committing to this time for your health. Thank you, Heidi.